What are the funniest movies ever made? Humor can be very subjective, and many great film comedies are loved and hated in equal measure. Let's count down our top 10 the absolute most hilarious movies that will make you cry with laughter. Office Space.
Good job.
Actually, I'm being promoted.
Thank you, Bob.
This is a suck.
They're gonna throw you out on the street so that Bill Lumberg's stock will go up. It's completely unfair. Anitech deserves...
Peter Gibbons, thanks to a hypnotic suggestion, decides not to go to work at the same time his company is laying people off. When layoffs affect his two best friends, they conspire to plant a virus that will embezzle money from the company into their account. There is no doubt that creator-director Mike Judge has an uncanny eye for revealing the humorous realities and hypocrisies of office life, the banal and often inexplicable tasks that people do, as well as the defeating weight of bureaucracy, are mocked with deadpan humor in a series of interviews between employees and the consultants. Ghostbusters. Three oddball scientists get kicked out of their cushy positions at a university in New York City where they studied the occult. They decide to set up shop in an old firehouse and become Ghostbusters, trapping pesky ghosts, spirits, hauns, and poltergeists for money. They wisecrack their way through the city and stumble upon a gateway to another dimension, one which will release untold evil upon the city. The Ghostbusters are called on to save the Big Apple.
Did you want to? I'll let you. Next time.
Someone is creating a device that amplifies paranormal activity. And we might be the only ones who can stop it.
Holtzman, come on!
Is the hat is too much, right? Is it the wig or the hat?
Ghostbusters, the ectoplasmic Force Awakens does more than sport with the increasingly tiresome subject of identity politics and pop culture. It delivers a really funny and spectacular action comedy that pays tribute to the first film within jokes, twists, and cameos, and yet produces a brand new work, as smart as paint. Dumb and Dumber.
A little filly break your heart?
No, it was a girl.
Breda Belcher.
I thought we were gonna be together forever.
She give you any reason?
Yeah, I called her up. She gave me a bunch of crap about me not listening to her enough or something. I don't know, I wasn't really paying attention.
That was good.
Harry and Lloyd are two good friends who happen to be really stupid. The duo set out on a cross-country trip from Providence to Aspen, Colorado to return a briefcase full of money to its rightful owner, a beautiful woman named Mary Swanson. After a trip of one mishap after another, the duo eventually make it to Aspen, but the two soon realize that Mary and her briefcase are the least of their problems. This is a very good comedy. It may make you laugh till it hurts. National Lampoon's Animal House. Faber College has one frat house so disreputable it will take anyone. It has a second one full of white, Anglo-Saxon, rich young men who are so sanctimonious no one can stand them except Dean Wormer. The dean enlists the help of the second frat to get the boys of Delta House off campus. The dean's plan comes into play just before the homecoming parade to end all parades for all time. The movie is vulgar, raunchy, ribald, and occasionally scatological. Animal House is funny for some of the same reasons the National Lampoon is funny, because it finds some kind of precarious balance between insanity and accuracy, between cheerfully wretched excess and an ability to reproduce the most revealing nuances of human behavior. Groundhog Day. In Harold Rams's Groundhog Day, 1993, an intriguing comedy about repeating the past. Bill Murray is Phil Connors, an arrogantly self-centered and cynical TV weatherman, sent for the 5th time to the small town of Punxsutawney, paid to cover the groundhog ceremony held every February 2nd.
Rich, concentred all in self, living shall forfeit fair renown, and doubly
he stumbles into a time warp and winds up repeating the same day over and over again, until forced to look at himself from the distance and to examine his attitude. His movie not only is an original, clever and funniest comedy, it also makes you think of the serious questions. For instance, when gods want to punish a mean, arrogant sob, they would not take his sanity away. They will make the whole world around him mad and let him deal with the situation. Or another question, what would you do if you have eternity on your hands? Is it a curse or blessing? CADDYSHACK. Danny Noonan is a young caddy at Bushwood Country Club who has no idea about where his future will lead. His best chance at getting his life on track is to earn a caddy scholarship from Judge Elihu Smales, the owner of the country club. Al Zervik is a rude and overly eccentric millionaire who has interests in purchasing Bushwood.
Hey, I should have stayed home and played with myself.
Taking shots.
That was a bum shot.
And making time.
We couldn't possibly think less of each other.
Controlling your drives.
Wow!
And losing your grip.
Judge Smales shows a quick disliking towards Al, and soon there is a conflict between the judge and Al, the judge and Danny, and even between the judge and Tywet, the charming golfer who is slowly helping Danny figure out his real goals. On the outside of this is Carl Spackler, the golf course groundskeeper, whose goal is eliminate a rampaging gopher who is chewing up poles throughout the golf course. Blazing Saddles. The ultimate Western spoof. A town where everyone seems to be named Johnson is in the way of the railroad. In order to grab the land, Hatley Lamar, a politically connected nasty person, sends in his henchmen to make the town unlivable. After the sheriff is killed, the town demands a new sheriff from the governor. Hatley convinces him to send the town the first black sheriff in the West. Bart is a sophisticated urbanite who will have some difficulty winning over the townspeople.
Hello, handsome. Is that a 10-gallon hat?
Just sign this, right here.
Oh, okay, give us a hand here.
All right, sir.
Blazing Saddles is like that. It's a crazed grab bag of a movie that does everything to keep us laughing except hit us over the head with a rubber chicken. The Hangover. Very funny movie about the day after a bachelor party. 4 friends go to Vegas for a bachelor party. They wake up the next day to find Mike Tyson's tiger in their hotel room, a baby boy, a missing tooth. Someone got married, not the groom. A hospital wristband and the groom is missing. They have to try to piece together the night before to find the groom and get to the wedding on time.
Whose baby is that? Check its collar or something.
I looked everywhere. Nobody's seen Doug. I don't think I've ever been this hungover.
What's on your arm?
You were in the hospital last night.
The only important thing now is that we find Doug.
Where's your car, officers? Oh, God. I think it was just you guys and one other guy. Was he okay? He was fine. Just whacked out of his...
The Hangover is a funny movie, flat out, all the way through. Its setup is funny. Every situation is funny. Most of the dialogue is funny, almost line by line. At some point we actually find ourselves caring a little about what happened to the missing bridegroom. And the fact that we almost care is funny too. Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail 有许多滑稽的。
If you do not open this door, we shall take this castle by force.
The movie is about King Arthur and his knights embark on a low-budget search for the Grail, encountering many, very silly obstacles. Easily the most hilarious and original comedy ever made, Monty Python and the Holy Grail claims its undisputed throne through insanely ridiculous situations and characters that will very likely never be duplicated. Pure comedic genius that doesn't go stale with age or decades of competition having been released. Simply seeing the way comedy films are made today, this film will very likely have a long reign before anything can even hold a candle to it. An absolute belly laugh fest that never lets up. Airplane. Still craving for the love of his life, Ted Stryker follows Elaine onto the flight that she is working on as a member of the cabin crew. Elaine doesn't want to be with Ted anymore, but when the crew and passengers fall ill from food poisoning, all eyes are on Ted.
Flight.
Julie Haggerty.
By the way, is there anyone on board who knows how to fly a plane?
Can you fly this plane and land it?
Robert Hayes.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. Down, get a hold of yourself.
Please, let me handle it.
A man afraid to fly must ensure that a plane lands safely after the pilots become sick. This is perhaps one of the greatest, funniest parodies in the history of film. It is sophomoric, obvious, predictable, corny, and quite often very funny. What is your favorite movie from the list? Let us know below and don't forget to subscribe.